Today I'm here with my best friend Mercedes, who is now a mother of two. She just had a very natural birth recently involving a doula and a midwife, and before that she had a more medicated birth. So she's gonna sit here and explain to you all the ins and outs and show you just the options you have as a woman giving birth and what you can ask for. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so my name's Mercy. Like she said, recently became a mother of two. I just gave birth to my second baby 2 months ago. My first daughter is 2 years old, so I wanted to kind of give my experience with how a medicated birth went and how an unmedicated birth went. It's a little backstory about my births. Like I said, my first one was medicated. I did take Pitocin, no epidural. As much as I wanted to, I didn't give in, but I did have to take Pitocin, and that was pretty rough on my body. Second baby, went in there more educated with having a doula and a midwife, so my experience was just two complete polar opposites. Thanks to Hanny, I'm able to kind of give a little experience and advice on girls who are looking into this path. It's not as hard as you may think. I was able to get all these services, not have to pay anything thanks to my insurance. So the reason why I found that out was because I was thrift store shopping one day and I was pregnant. So a lady came up to me just kind of, congratulating me and talking to me about my pregnancy. And through that conversation, she had mentioned that she went through a doula and a midwife. I had asked her, like, wow, how did you do that? I want to do that, but I don't think I can financially afford it. Mm-hmm. And she had said, I didn't pay anything. My insurance covered everything, and just call your insurance, see if they offer it, and if they do, then you're good. You just have to call around and find a midwife and a doula that'll take your insurance. Just to be honest, my insurance was the bare minimum. I have the free insurance.
We love the honesty.
Yeah, I have the free insurance, so
it's proof. It's proof that no matter what, you can figure it out.
Exactly. It's not too far out of reach. That's how that started, because like I said, I was always under the impression that it was something that was financially out of reach. Yeah. And I was never going to be able to do because, it's an expensive service. I think because it's becoming more popular now, with natural things. And
just the holistic route.
Yeah, the holistic route. Insurances are catching up to that. And from that, I just called around. I Googled midwives around me and just started calling all the ones that popped up. And luckily I found the one that I did and I went with. And then through her, I actually found my doula. I wasn't planning on getting a doula, but since she had a doula there with her that she was teaching, I was able to just get her information and go through her, and it was such a beautiful experience. So I'm here to spread the word.
I love it. Describe giving birth without the doula, without the midwife, and then maybe a little bit more with.
Okay, so without the midwife, my first pregnancy was just OBGYN doctors. I didn't even take proper vitamins. I just kind of did the bare minimum. The OBGYN with my first was just quick 5-minute appointments, long waiting times. I had to wait, I think the most I had to wait was an hour and a half in the waiting room.
That's crazy.
Just to get seen for literally 5 minutes. Quick in and out. It came down to the delivery. Went to the hospital because my water broke, and immediately, as soon as I got checked in, they wanted to start me on Pitocin. I want to do that. I was trying to, not take any medication. So I told them, hey, can we see how long I can go without any medication before we have to get to that point? They didn't like that. I got really bad reactions from that, but, I still stood my ground. The thing about that is you go in there, you're not really sure. You're not educated on medical stuff, so you're very intimidated easily. They come at you with, hey, we need to do this because of this, because of this. When in reality, it's all just it can be a scare tactic. It usually is just because they're trying to rush you into things, rush you to have the baby so that they can get you out. Stood my ground on the no medication. They consistently came in, to try to get me to take Pitocin. I kept pushing them away, and then it got to a couple hours later. I wasn't dilating anywhere. I was still stuck. I think I was at 3 centimeters. I was still stuck there. And then when they came in that last time, I finally said, okay, let's just do it. But I'd like a small dose. They did that. They gave me a small dose. And then from there, just pretty much had to deal with contractions on Pitocin. And if anyone's experienced with that, then they would know how painful that is. It's very, there's contractions, which are already painful. And then there's Pitocin contractions, which are times 10 of that. I still pushed the no epidural. They kept coming in with wanting to offer the epidural. I reached out to them and said, hey, this is getting painful. I'm going to need the epidural now. Like, I can't take this. And by that time, it was too late for me to take it. Because I think at that point, I was like 7 centimeters dilated, or 8, it might have been.
Oh my gosh.
So it's too late. You can't take epidural that late into it, because you have to stay still for it. The next 20 minutes after that, I gave birth to my first daughter. Jump to now with my second pregnancy. Like I said, yeah, much better. My appointments with my midwife were about an hour long.
Wow.
Each time.
That's a big difference.
So it was like, hey, how are you doing? How's everything? What are you feeling? It was very, let's talk through every single thing, which was so amazing, because through that, I was able to get, a lot more tests done. I was able to just really focus on my pregnancy. I was able to learn certain things. As far as like my supplements this time were a lot better. I didn't just take one prenatal. Before I get to specifics, I took beef tallow, I took vitamin D, I took minerals, I took cod liver.
Wow.
This is controversial, and I wouldn't recommend everybody doing this, because it could be dangerous, but I had a lot of faith in this, in my prenatal intake, that I was okay with it. I did take oysters. I ate oysters during my pregnancy, which have a lot of vitamin E in them, which is why I took them. I didn't take them all the time, but I was taking them throughout my pregnancy. I just had a better diet. Overall, everything I just put a lot more effort into this time around than I did with my first daughter. My doula was able to come to me, to my house. We would talk about labor practices, just how to get into a right mindset. Because my thing with this pregnancy was I was very fearful, because I knew what to expect. You would think that you wouldn't be as scared, but no, I feel like it made me more scared that I knew what was coming. My doula was really great as far as just helping me get into a really good mindset of not being scared and being open to how beautiful labor and pregnancy and everything is, or what our bodies do is so amazing. I think if we stay in the mindset of, this is a beautiful thing, and yes, it is scary, but it is such a fucking sorry.
No,
it's okay. It is such a beautiful thing and such a beautiful gift to be able to do this.
Yeah.
It's, why not embrace it? And as painful as it is, it's still a beautiful experience. So I think a mindset does do a lot for you. I'm just a firm believer in what you think is what you put out, and
oh, definitely, it becomes your reality.
Yeah. Every contraction came and went. I let it go, breathe through everything. It did help me, because my delivery went by really fast with my second baby. I got checked in at 11, had her at 3:30. Compared to my first one I got checked in at 9 and didn't have her till midnight. And then also the hospital, I think, does make a difference too. The first hospital I went to wasn't that great. I mean, to me, in the first time, it was okay. I think I came out of the hospital saying, like, wow, that was a great hospital. But now, having experienced another hospital, that was not a great hospital. Nurses were not so nice. Everybody was just very pushy about things. You give birth, and when you have babies, you want to protect them. You want to give them the best you can, and you want the hospital to sort of follow suit with what you want.
Yeah.
You're the parent. And the first hospital was very, you don't know what you're talking about type of energy.
Yeah.
And the second hospital was not at all like that. They were very understanding. They were very open. They didn't make me feel like I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, because I didn't know. But I did, my own research. So I went in there with a sort of understanding of what I wanted, as far as, if everything goes right and my baby's healthy, this is what I want. Just for honesty, the second hospital that I went with was Loma Linda. I totally recommend them. They're very beautiful. They're religious based, so I feel like they're open to
new ideas,
a lot more things.
Yeah.
Their doulas are helping that way too, because they go in there with the knowledge of, hey, you guys are only doing that because you guys are trying to rush us out, or hey, that's not medically necessary.
They can fight for you a little bit.
They can fight for you. And things that, exactly. When one, you're not in the mindset to fight, and two, we're not nurses, we're not doctors, so we don't really know exactly what's medically necessary and what's not. So the doulas can help with that, and my doula was a big help with that. For example, they wanted to give me I think it was a cervix thinner pill. They wanted to put it in to help me open up. And I was, of course, I wanted things to go naturally, so I was like, hey, let me wait for my doula to get here. As long as you're not a high-risk pregnancy, this is totally available for a lot of people.
I feel like there were any like moments during your natural birth where you kind of were like doubting yourself, or you wanted to like back out a little bit?
Oh yeah, it's just a natural thought to come in your head when you're in labor. When you start to think, oh, I can't do this. This is so painful. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like it's very normal for that to happen or for you to think that way. But like I said, as long as you just have that mindset of you can do this, this is gonna happen. It's gonna be beautiful. Your baby's gonna be here soon. It's totally okay. And that's when you can quickly get yourself out of that mindset and back into the good mindset. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have those thoughts, but it's gonna be easier to push them away when you already go in there with a strong mindset, in my opinion.
Okay. What do you feel like is the biggest difference with like how you feel physically and emotionally like postpartum with your first baby versus now?
Oh, good question. Big difference. I don't feel as sad. I don't feel as easily agitated. This postpartum has been so much easier than the first one. That might be because the first one I was a new mom, so that's just automatically like a shock to anybody.
Yeah.
But the second one is hard too because, you know, you're juggling 2 babies or multiple babies compared to 1. Yeah. This time around, just been taking care of myself better mentally, giving myself grace, giving myself the patience that I should have given myself the first time around. My partner has also been we've just both been better this time around. I feel like we both, like I said, were new parents at first, so it was just harder to kind of get on the same page with a lot of things. So a good partner and both of us being on the same mindset was a lot better this time around. And then I did continue taking my vitamins this time.
Okay.
I didn't do that. I barely took vitamins the first time, which was a big no-no.
Yeah.
I totally recommend take vitamins in any pregnancy, first, second, third, whatever. Take your vitamins. I recommend don't take the 1 prenatal vitamin. I just don't feel like you're really getting all your vitamins.
Yeah, it's not enough in like a little 2
like,
pills a day.
That's
like.
just kind of crazy to me, but just trying to eat better, trying to stick to a healthy lifestyle. I try to work out as much as I can. It's not much, but when I have free time, I try to get some sort of exercise in. Just not letting myself go, you know, not getting so consumed in motherhood, because it does happen. Motherhood is a very big thing and a big job.
Yeah. And
it's you very easily can get consumed in it, and, you know, it might seem like that's all you're there to do, you know, is be a mother, and it is a beautiful thing, but just try to make time for things that you like, whether it's a little craft here on the side, or my big thing is I love fashion, I love clothing, I love shopping, I love thrift store shopping in particular, so.
You want to shout out your Depop?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with my things that I like to do on the side. It's not as much as I would do them before having kids, obviously.
I see like a big difference in your like vibe, your energy this time, and just like doing your hobbies more.
Yeah.
Like you seem like yourself more.
Yeah, I do feel like myself a lot more than this time, the first time. They say you lose yourself, you know, when you become a mom, and it's true because you just don't have as much time for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's you're a mom. You're taking care of babies, and babies are a 24/7 job that never stops. So it's totally normal. It's totally okay. I just recommend, you know, trying your best to do things that you like, hobbies, crafts, like I said, anything that piques your interest that you like to do before babies. Try to just do it every once in a while on the side. I think that helps keep you grounded and keep you. Won't let you lose yourself as easily. So this time around I did do that more. I stuck to myself. I didn't.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. And then I asked for help. Ask for help. If you have help, ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. It takes a village. It's not just a saying. It takes a village. I have the help of my parents here and my family, so, and my partner. I am not shy of putting daddy to work. So.
Oh yeah, as he should.
It won't come close to what I did as far as giving birth, but, you know.
Yeah. So if you could give one little piece of advice, what's something you wish everyone knew before giving birth?
If I had to narrow down to one, it would be to enjoy your you time. Enjoy being able to do things on your own. When you have babies, it's just not gonna be as accessible. You're not gonna have as much you time, and you're gonna think about the fact that you had so much you time before.
You did use it.
Yeah, and you didn't
right
take
now.
advantage. At least that was my experience, because I was very scared to do things by myself. You know, I was very timid. I just didn't like to be by myself. And now, after having babies and having kids, oh man, how I wish I could go back to those days. And I would, if I could go back, I would take solo vacations if I could.
Really?
Yeah, I would go back and do those things that I was scared to do, because they can't happen. At least not for a long time, until obviously once the babies are grown up. I tell that to people now that talk about having babies and talk about having kids.
Yeah.
I try to tell them, like, hey, you know, you guys don't have kids and don't have babies right now, so take advantage with you and your partner. Go out, do things that you guys been wanting to do. Don't procrastinate. Take advantage, because not saying your life is over when babies come, because I'm a big advocate on it's not over. You can still live a life even after having babies. We do try to still do things now with having babies. It's just babies are involved, so it's a lot harder and not as simple as it would be if it was just us two. Yeah, take advantage of simple times. You're living in them. You're living in simple times. Yes, you are, girl.
Are you trying to tell me to book a vacation?
I am trying to book a vacation.
I will.
Anything that pops into your mind of, oh, I want to do this, and you convince yourself you not do it, that thing, go and do.
I needed that advice too right now, so.
There's also one more important thing I would recommend people to do before babies, is to work on yourself as much as you can. All the mental shit you got going on, figure it out, work on it. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna have it figured out, but just try to work on it, because you're gonna need a lot of mental space when babies come, and you want to be the best parent you can be. You don't want to
take it out on them.
Yeah, you don't want to take out any, you know, trauma, childhood stuff on them. You don't want to pass it down to them. I mean, that's everyone's goal. So, and it's gonna help when it comes to raising babies. You'll have a lot more patience and understanding. So.
Yeah. How do you feel like giving birth naturally changed the way you view yourself as a woman, or like the way you view your body?
That's a beautiful question.
I was like, we have to end on this one.
That's a good question.
I know, so you.
I'm so proud of myself. It's gonna sound really cocky, but I mean this in the most, like, just admirationable way. I am so in love with myself, with what I was able to do, and how I was able to do it in the mindset that I did do it in, because I did that work. I put in that work for this delivery to go the way it did. I will also say that it did help that I wasn't in a high-risk pregnancy. I didn't have complications. Obviously, those are things that are out of your control. I don't want to say that, you know, people who unfortunately have to go through those situations, you know, they can't obviously have the same mindset and the same as much as they want to. But in my experience and in my delivery, I was lucky enough to have a safe pregnancy, and so therefore I was able to have the space to create the mindset of just going with the flow, letting nature do its course, and giving birth in a very beautiful way. Being able to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway I had from this delivery is, wow, you did that. Yeah. I even said that, I think, after I gave birth, was, I fucking did that. I did that, and I'm very happy, and I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful. I believe in a higher power, so I do thank God and blessing me in that way of giving me the opportunity to have that experience. And also my doula. My doula was a big help. Yeah. And my support team, which was my partner and my mom. Everybody there. And the hospital was great. All the nurses were so beautiful.
It's literally like the perfect little birth that you could have had.
Everything just aligned so perfectly. We're in a way where I can't deny that this was a higher power doing, so yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
There's no experience like becoming a parent. There's just nothing like it. It really does change you in a lot of great ways, and it opens your heart up in a way that you couldn't even imagine until it happens. The love.
It's easy when you're such a good mom.
No, oh, thank you so much. I wish everybody luck on this journey if they do decide to do it. If whoever wants to reach out to me personally, I'm there. If you find my Instagram, I'm sure you'll
I'll link it.
Yeah, and you can reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help anybody who ever has any questions in this.